And speaking of adding a running back through the draft, not many running backs ever been drafted higher than this guy who is joining us on Theoretically Speaking right now, Mark Ingram, fresh off the course. He pops on the headset with us here. C-Cat to my right now, Mark Ingram to my left. And first off, we got to ask, how'd you hit him today? I see you sipping a little drink.
Yeah,
is this a celebratory drink, or are you trying to get over the way you hit the ball?
I hit that thing all over the place today, man. You know, I took the scenic route on the course. Yeah. You know what I mean? We hit it far, but it went far left, far right. Well, you know, we had a couple birdies. You know, I contributed to my team.
Yes.
So, you know, but there's always room for improvement.
Now, Mark, you wouldn't have known this before you came and sat down right here, but one of the two of us are huge Ravens fans and wants to give you a special message to see if you'll return it.
Big trust.
In the flesh.
Woo!
Yes, sir. Meet me and B-More right outside the bank. I'm about that.
See, I said that word from word verbatim before the show started. I wish you were here for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He did?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
You already know what's going on.
Mark, man, why is this such a huge deal for y'all? Like, y'all step off the football field, and so many of y'all still want to compete at a high level, and it feels like golf is that outlet that a lot of you choose. Has it been big in your life, and why is it a big deal to be able to get out here with the fellas and hit the ball around?
I grew up playing golf, man. I was fortunate enough to have my father who introduced me to the game at a young age, and I actually did competitive golf, you know, through middle school, and it was probably one of my better sports going into high school, but golf and football were in the same season, so I chose to play football. So I didn't golf much at all, and through high school or college or even in the NFL, I didn't play much. And so now that I'm, you know, done and I got more time on my hands, I wanted to get back on the course, man. I just love the camaraderie you have when you have a great foursome of guys going out there, or women too, you know what I mean? It's just a great game to play. Obviously super competitive. It's super humbling. It's all of those things, man. And there's nothing like when you stripe a drive down the middle of the fairway. You stick one close to the pin and you knock one in for birdie. There's nothing like that feeling. You might double bogey the next hole, but you always chase that feeling. So that's just a great game.
It's the chase. I was talking to C-Cat about that. I think that's what keeps y'all, people in general, but specifically former athletes, on the course. It's the chase of continuing to be better, because you know even after a great hole, it could be a bad one that's going to wake you back up to want to do it again.
Man, it's a humbling game, and all you could do, no matter if it's a good shot or a bad shot, all you could do is go find your ball and play the next shot. Your job is to get the ball in the hole. So it's a very humbling game. It's a very mentally straining game, and I think it makes you better, man, in life, because golf is very similar to life, because sometimes you hit a good shot, you get a bad bounce, you know what I mean, but you got to keep playing. Sometimes you hit a bad shot, you get a good bounce. You got to keep playing. Your job is to play the next shot, get the ball in the hole, and try and have the lowest scores you possibly can. But it's just an amazing game, create so many relationships. I got two of my good friends with me right now that I met through golf, and we family for life, man. So I think golf creates some great relationships. I think it's a great game, so it's great to be out here.
Yeah, C-Cat, you brought something up that I thought was interesting. A lot of people, they remember you from a lot of great moments. We also remember you from that picture at Bama in the coin toss.
Yeah.
But we started lining things up, and it's like your ties to Derrick Henry go even deeper now, because now, you know, 22 is out there doing this thing with your Baltimore Ravens,
right.
man. How have you been taking that in and watching him do his thing?
I mean, that's my boy. And obviously just seeing, you know, obviously the career he's had, the career he's made, he's one of the best to ever tote the rock, man. So I remember his rookie year, man, you know, he's kind of frustrated, kind of went into a situation where, you know, he wasn't starting. He kind of was, you know, coming in and out, wasn't getting the same touches, and he was really frustrated. You know, we just had easy discussions, just told him to stay the course, you know, and keep working and being prepared for his opportunities. And so when his opportunity comes, that he could take it and grasp it, and he's done that tenfold. And so I'm super, you know, happy that for him, the legacy he's creating, Hall of Fame back, and he's still rolling, man. He's still rolling.
Was Lamar Jackson the MVP this year?
Yes. I mean, I don't know why these people do this stuff. You know, obviously Josh Allen had a tremendous season. Nothing against Josh Allen. I think he's, you know, one of the top quarterbacks in the league. One of the top players in the league. Buffalo wouldn't be where they at without him. But at the same time, Lamar Jackson had a season that we've never seen before. No one's ever thrown for 4,000 yards and rushed for over 900 yards. And I think he actually touched 1,000 eventually, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, no one has seen the season that Lamar Jackson did. Nobody has thrown for 4,000 yards and rushed for over 900 yards. And when you do something like that, it should be, it should be cherished. It should be awarded. And, he's had 2 MVPs. Maybe they didn't want to give him 3 MVPs. Who knows what it might be. There's always something. There's always something that, you can't, you try to add it up, you try to carry the 1, you try to subtract, divide it by 2, by the square root of pi, and the math just don't be mathing. You know what I mean?
Mark Ingram joining us here, former Ravens back, former Bama back, and a guy that you see in commercials that also celebrate what he did in college in the Heisman House and whatnot. So, Mark, I'm questioning for you, how much are you loving the return of the prioritization of the position that you call home as a running back? Because, man, like this past year and a half between Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Genty, and I'm probably missing like 3 or 4 other names, Joe Mixon.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yep.
Like, we've seen that position get a lot more love. Like, I know you wish you were a little bit more of a part of it, but it's still good to see your brothers get right.
The running back has always been an integral part of a football team and always a focal point of a football team. Typically, unless you have a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes, you're going to need a significant running game to be able to go deep into the playoffs. And when you have a running game, what that does is it keeps the defense off balance. It keeps the defense. Nobody wants to continue to hit the runner over and over and over again. And then guess what? Now you got to respect the run because he's positive in his running in the running game, and now they're hitting you over the top with deep threats. So I think, across the league they're trying to devalue the position, but at the end of the day, the position has always been valued. And I'm just so glad that Saquon, Derrick Henry, all these guys, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, you see guys around the league, especially the veteran backs that are defying the odds and showing that, hey, it doesn't matter my age or how long or how many carries I have. Look at my body at work. Look at the film like you don't know when my birthday was and compensate me accordingly. And so I'm so happy for Saquon getting the compensation that he deserves, and hopefully other backs around the league continue to get the compensation that they deserve.
Where you want to see Genty go? What's the perfect landing spot for a guy like that who kind of has all the tools in his toolbox?
I think, Dallas needs a running back really bad. I know New Orleans has a 9th pick. I think him and Alvin would be a crazy tandem. But I just think anywhere that he could go, that he could be utilized in the right system. He's a back that can run inside, break tackles. He's a back that can run outside, hit the home run. He can pick up pass protection. He can come out the backfield and catch the ball. So I think wherever he lands, I think his skill set will translate, really well to the NFL.
Mark, I got a question for you, and I just started noticing this the past couple of years. I'm sure you've noticed this far longer than that. The NFL has been finding their players in the weirdest of ways for doing the weirdest of things, such as a running back who hits a hole, lowers his body a little bit, and they consider that leading with the head, dangerous move. Have you ever been fined in a way like that where you're scratching your head when you get that envelope?
I picked up a pass protection one time. The linebacker was blitzing through the A-gap, and I went and I cut him. But when I cut him, my lineman went away from his technique and kind of like touched his shoulder pad. So on film, you could obviously see that I made first contact and that I'm going to cut him first. But it's called a high-low, and you can't do that. And so they sent me a fine letter. I'm like, yo, like, what do you want me to do? Like, you could clearly see. So the lineman is like going this way, taking his pass set. But when nobody's over there, he rocks back. And he kind of gets just like a right-hand shoulder on him at the last minute. And they sent me a fine for it. And so I ended up appealing it, and I think they gave me half off, but I still had to pay some money. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm just doing my job. The man's 260 pounds running down in the A-gap. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Like, y'all do y'all's job and don't find me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say so. The quarterback your pass protection is going to get a whole lot more injured than the guy you're blocking when you're trying to go low on him.
Yeah, man, you try to box somebody 250 pounds running at you full speed while you just coming out of a stationary stance, but that's part of the job description. That's why running backs, I think, should be valued and are so important because I feel like running backs the best athlete on the field. You look at Jahmyr Gibbs. We're missing him.
Yeah.
You look at Jahmyr Gibbs and many others, man. There's so many backs that, probably, that we're not mentioning right now. But I think the running back is so crucial to a team because not only do you have to run the ball inside, not only do you have to run the ball outside, you have to be able to come out the backfield, catch the football. You have to be able to have pass protection. So a lot of goes into it. You have to be a smart player as a running back because if you don't know where the pass protection's coming from, if I don't pick up the safety, Drew Brees gets hit in the back of his head. You know what I mean? So, and that's your franchise right there. So, got to have a smart player in the backfield for sure.
Did Drew pick up the tab on that fine?
No. Drew ain't picked the tab up, man. Drew ain't picked the tab up, man. That's my dog, but he ain't picked the tab up. No.
What do you remember about just New Orleans itself? That as a professional athlete in that city, which the culture there, the restaurants there, the vibes there. I mean, I got a lot of family from New Orleans. I still go back here and there. How much did you just love and reminisce on those days there? I know Baltimore. It's highly touted how much you like them, Big Trust and all that. But what about New Orleans, man?
I mean, New Orleans is the place that drafted me. I spent nearly 10 years of my career there, and I think New Orleans and the Saints are intertwined. You can't have one without the other. When the Saints are doing great, crime is down in New Orleans. People are happy in New Orleans. When the Saints aren't doing well, this crime goes up and people aren't happy. So it's just one heartbeat, one city. The amount of love and appreciation I get when I go back to that city. I think New Orleans hosted a tremendous Super Bowl this year. I think New Orleans should be a mandatory destination for the Super Bowl every 5 years. You might could rotate it every 4 years, but every 5th year, New Orleans needs to have a Super Bowl. Just did an immaculate job. Everyone in New Orleans deserves a huge round of applause for how they handled, the tragedy that happened on New Year's, and then for how they bounced back 6 weeks later and had a flawless executed Super Bowl. I was there for the whole week, and there was no safer place to be in the world than there was in New Orleans that week. So I'm just so happy, for New Orleans that they had a successful Super Bowl, and I'm thankful for everything they've done for me. City like no other, one of a kind. Be able to the food, the people, the culture, the history. New Orleans is one of a kind for sure.
Should Bama have been in the college football playoff this year?
Yeah, I think they should have been. Obviously, they didn't, handle what they needed to handle, so they can't be mad at nobody but themselves because you controlled your own destiny, and you go and lay an egg versus Oklahoma on the road.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, with that being said, I still think they should have been in the playoff over SMU. You're talking about a weak conference in the ACC, and they had no quality wins, no rank wins. And I still think that they should have been in. Guess what? If you win, you're in. And guess what you didn't do? You didn't win. So you shouldn't be in.
That's what I'm about to say.
You shouldn't be in.
So you agree then. You can't lose to that Oklahoma team. Bama made Oklahoma bowl eligible.
Every conference isn't created equal at the same time.
Man, this is a 6-win team though.
Who?
Oklahoma. They were a 6-win team.
You're talking about a 3-loss team in Bama. The 3-loss team won the ACC.
Dang, he got a point.
Yeah, and you look at the SMU quarterback against Penn State in that first-round game. I would have loved it. I'm a Penn Stater also, so I would have liked a better game.
Yeah. So now you know what it is, like whatever, But Alabama can't be mad at nobody but themselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think they should have been in the playoff. And with that being said, they still went and got their ass spanked by Michigan in the bowl game. Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't have been in. But at that time, I feel like we should have been a 12th team in.
Hopeful for the trajectory now. You got year one of Kalen DeBoer. Do you have any relationship with him or any people around the program still?
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to, speak with Kalen DeBoer a number of times, and he invited me to come speak to the team last year during training camp. And obviously, he's 2 years out from a national championship appearance with Washington, so he knows what it takes. And so kind of got to give guys time to get their footprint, get their process ingrained in the team. Obviously, it's different this day and age with the NIL, the turnover on rosters, but I think he knows what it takes, and I'm rooting for him, man. Obviously, he's the head coach at the University of Alabama. I think he's a great guy, and, created a good relationship, a good rapport with him over the last year since he's been the head coach, and obviously I'm supporting him in the Tide all day, so hopefully we can get back to where we need to be, and that's on top. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes,
I hear you. I agree with everything until he started pumping that Alabama Roll Tide stuff, talking about they should have been in. And then
who you like then?
I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so we got our own way as well.
Yeah. So you think SMU should have been in?
But here's what I'll say. SMU shouldn't have been in because Miami should have not lost those 2 games down the stretch and played their way in, and you wouldn't have been able to have an argument for Bama over Miami.
But we did because y'all laid an egg.
I know
just like we laid an egg.
I was about to say, so we share experience.
eggs.
Yeah.
He wants comfort and misery. He wants to be Bama's fans just as miserable as Miami fans are.
SMU, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Just win your conference, and then everybody's happy. So if they would have won,
you're right.
We would have been in.
You're right. That's why you're really mad at SMU.
Yeah, so
that's why you're really mad. Speak the truth.
So F them.
Mark Ingram with parting shots to their guys out there at SMU, but also with some wise words for Bama. He says the Tide are coming back with Kalen DeBoer, so glad you could join us.
I hope so.
Glad you could join us. Big trust, and hopefully,
in the flesh.
Hopefully things continue to go well for you on the course, brother.
I appreciate you, dog.
All right, we continue on with Theoretically Speaking. I can't promise any more great injections of life and energy like Mark Ingram just gave us, but I can promise you we'll be giving away a Titleist bag from Pro Football Hall of Fame's James Hardy's Invitational.
I need a bag.
No, hold on, not to you. You got
call in. Well, you can call in if you're a lucky caller.
We're going to be giving it to a caller later.
What's the number?
888-760-3776. 888-760-3776.
He said that pretty fast. Anybody catch that? I'm drinking margaritas. What the number was?
You got to beat Mark Ingram out. He's already dialing it in. 888-760-3776. Get on hold right now, and on the other side, we will give you the contest rules and how you can win it.
Oh, he gave me a busy number. What? Oh, hell no.
That's Mark Ingram. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.